Trump better hope hell isn't real. Trump's comments a few days ago hoping he will get into heaven got me to thinking. I'm sure that his impending mortality and some frank talk by the few actually religious people around him got Trump wondering the same thing many people ask at the end of their lives. What will happen to me when I die? Now I'm not religious myself, and believe that what happens when you die is just endless nothing, but it's interesting to consider what hell would be like for someone like Trump. In the 1300s, an Italian poet named Dante Alighieri wrote about heaven and hell in a series known as the Divine Comedy. The first of these books is titled Inferno and is probably the best known and most interesting as it describes his journey through the netherworld. Inferno divides hell into descending circles of increasing punishment, with each level having multiple purposes. Vestibule, for those who would not choose in life. Virtuous pagans, people who never got a chance to learn the glory of God. Minos's palace, a place of judgment, lust, adulterers. Dis, the administrative city for hell. Boiling blood, murderers, the woods, suicides, and many more. At the very bottom, the ninth circle is a giant plain of ice where the worst of the worst are buried. Satan himself is standing at the center as a giant with 3 heads, slowly chewing on the biggest sinners in his realm, people like Hitler and Stalin surely getting the full treatment. So let's imagine our dreams come true and Trump dies tomorrow. He will surely wake up in hell and perhaps have a journey through God's own torture chamber that goes something like this. Trump in hell. Trump crosses the river Styx on Charon's boat. Arriving at the far shore to Minos's palace, Trump joins the crowds streaming into the giant structure. Eventually, he comes face to face with the great king, who sizes him up with a shrewd eye.
"So here you are at last,"
says Minos. Trump stammers in response. "I don't know what I'm doing here. I was the greatest president of all time and the smartest person ever who knew all the big words. I don't belong here." Minos smiles.
"Lies are my domain, Donald. Don't waste your time trying to convince me of them."
Trump looks around in panic to see if any of his supporters from life are there. Many are, but none will meet his gaze as they stare at the floor, lost in the contemplation of their own sins. He begins to understand he is completely on his own here and frantically searches for a way out of this situation. "Look," says Trump, "you must not know who I am or how much money I had. Many people have said that I accomplished more than any other person in the world, and everyone loved me in the whole country. I almost got the Nobel Prize 37 times because I stopped more than 10 wars. There must be some mistake, and I'm sure we can make a deal on this." Minos laughs deeply.
"Oh, I know you, Donald. I know you better than anyone you have ever met. Hell is full of those who thought themselves better than others, cheated on every lover they ever had, stole from those who trusted them, and used God as a tool to fool the ignorant. As for your wealth in life, that was just a chain you used to drag yourself closer to my embrace. Do you think you are the first president to grace my halls, or that your lies about who you are and the people you hurt would sway even me?"
"Well," stammers Trump, "maybe I could do a job like yours here. I'm a very good judge of people and have the most common sense of anyone. Just look at how I only ever hired the best people if you need proof. I don't know who is in charge here, but I have the best lawyers if I need them to make you do the right thing." This time, Minos's roar of laughter was so loud it threatened the very structure of his palace.
"Just wonderful, Donald. So few that come before me are this lost in their own lies. I haven't been this entertained in centuries."
Minos stops laughing as he furrows his brow and speaks seriously to Trump.
"As amusing as this is, an endless multitude await my judgment. But there are so many places for you, Donald. Where shall we start? Fraud, lust, wrath, all are fitting, I think. But let's start with the most obvious, shall we? Off you go into the pitch."
Minos's serpentine tail shoots out and wraps around Trump, who squeals in fear and tries to escape the coils as he is lifted off the palace floor. Minos's tail stretches out over lower hell and drops Trump without ceremony into the dark of the 5th trench, at the very heart of the 8th circle of hell. The punishments. Trump spends eternity being tortured. If he ever manages to truly understand and accept his sins at one punishment, Minos's tail snatches him up again and drops him into the next, all a part of a never-ending series of pain and suffering. Eighth circle, fifth trench, corrupt politicians and businessmen. Trump is thrown into the river of boiling pitch for his incredibly corrupt presidency and businesses, where he is burned mercilessly by the sticky, boiling goo. Any attempt at escape is met by demons armed with pitchforks that force him back in, while they mock him, shouting, "Was the $400 million jet worth it, Donald?" Eighth circle, eighth trench, fraudsters. Trump is set on fire and burned for all eternity for his use of fraud to bring about the suffering and downfall of others. Everything from Trump University, his scam bitcoins, and every racket he ran on his MAGA base must be reckoned with. Eighth circle, ninth trench, sours of discord. For promoting scandals and discord to further his own gains, Trump is forced to walk an endless circle bearing disgusting wounds, all dealt out to him by a huge demon with a sword. After making each new wound, the demon taunts Trump with cries of, "Where is the birth certificate? Immigrant gangs are eating pets, and kids are going to school and coming home trans without the parents knowing." Eighth circle, 10th trench, falsifiers. Trump is afflicted with horrific diseases for lying more than anyone ever has in politics, all for personal gain. The demons on the rim call out to Trump as he passes, "But you really won the 2020 election, didn't you, Donald?" Eighth circle, sixth trench, hypocrites. Encased in a lead robe, Trump must walk forever for believing that he and those who support him are never to be treated the same as his opponents were. Engraved into his impossibly heavy robe are a litany of his many hypocrisies, from pardoning the January 6th rioters to attempting to change the voting rules to benefit only Republicans. Fifth circle, the sullen and wrathful. Trump is dumped into a putrid marsh, forced to fight others for eons as a punishment for his consuming anger at those he thinks wronged him. Every so often he is dragged under by the sullen, where he chokes on his hate and can do nothing else in his struggle to breathe as mud fills his lungs. Third circle, gluttony. Thrown onto a plain of disgusting mud, pelted by endless rain and snow, Trump crawls through the muck and is chased by Cerberus for his sin of wasteful consumption. Not only his choices in food and obesity place him here, but he must learn that always thinking he needs more obscene wealth at the expense of others is also a deadly sin. Second circle, lust. For cheating on his wives and partners and for unspeakable acts of depravity against teenagers, Trump is caught up in the hurricane winds of the second circle. He is bashed and battered into the ground and into other sinners for all time, punishment for never truly loving and respecting anyone but himself. First circle, pride. For the first and most dangerous sin, Trump is dumped at the base of Mount Purgatory with a giant boulder strapped to his back. Since his fragile ego and pride dominated almost every action he took in life, he is forced by demons to walk without end around the mountain lugging his stone. Can he ever escape hell? According to Dante, no. Trump and all the souls there are trapped forever in their punishments. However, Larry Niven wrote an alternate version of Inferno, which I like a little better, and it does allow the souls to move on if they can truly come to terms with their sins and ask God for forgiveness. Is Trump someone who could truly repent for his sins? I seriously doubt it, but that's not really up to me. As the Christians say when quoting James 4:12 of the Bible, there is only one lawgiver and judge, he who is able to save and to destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor? While I can live with that, the real question is, if hell is real, can Trump really live with the consequences he has coming to him in the afterlife? All I can say to that is, I surely wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now.